G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got the strawberry guava and I'm going to give it a repot. I've got another pot here for it, a bit smaller than this one. And I just feel like it's time to shrink down that root ball and try and promote those fine roots that are going to give us the fine branching. I think that's what we need to concentrate on for now. I've noticed that since it's been in this pot, the branches and all the growth, it's not as long and extended as what it was, which is good. So I think it's time to take it a step further. I don't really have anything else much to do to this tree. You will notice this leader, I had a big tall leader on here that I was going to let grow and let thicken all this up, and some mongrel bloody bird stood on it and snapped it off. So it'll have to grow a new one. Anyway, we'll get it out of the pot and get the roots cleaned up, and then we'll have a look at the new pot. Now it's only been in this pot for a year, about a year, not quite, maybe just under a year. I think it was March last year, I think was when I put it in this pot, and we're coming up on the end of February fairly rapidly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm expecting there should be good root growth in here. They probably won't all be the tree's roots because the weeds grow nuts in here as well. Rightio, I'll throw some music on and I'll get these roots raked out, and then we'll come back and get into it.
Whatever is not right, feels like I'm lost without a home. Broken wing butterflies, cutting me up inside so slow. It's hard to drive with everything out of control. I stopped too fast and now you wanna go. Anyone can say goodbye, but you are the only one.
Righto, that's actually not too bad. It's got some nice fine roots, and I've noticed just under the surface here too, some of these roots are starting to get nice and strong and thicken up a bit, so I'll try and keep them about soil surface level, I reckon, and we'll keep working on them. One thing I will go and do though, I'm going to hit this with the hose. I did use a fair bit of potting mix by the looks in this one, well not a fair bit, but there's a bit in there. Wouldn't mind just getting all up in the center here and just hosing some of that out so we can replace it with some better mix. So give me 2 minutes, I'll be back. Righto, we're back. So, pretty reasonable root system. All looks pretty healthy in there. Like I said, I'm going to lift it up in the soil level a little bit. Try and keep some of these bigger, stronger roots up towards the top. And they will eventually form nice big thick roots, especially if we trim a few of these other smaller ones off and make it concentrate its growth into just a few. It's a weird looking crossing over one here that I don't know if I like, but we'll probably leave that for now. Sort of can't go too far. Sort of can't lift it too far because it goes a bit funny on this side. If there was a bit more root flare out this side, we'd have something to go on, but probably won't lift it up too much. Just a little bit, just to expose a few more of these roots. That little fella there can probably get cut off. It's a little bit too high. Is there much pruning I want to do to the roots? There's probably a couple that can go, I think. There's one here, there's two here fairly close together. And that one sort of comes out and goes straight down. So probably if we're going to get rid of one, that'll be the one to take. And that way we can just leave that one there. There's another one at the back here, is pretty good. I don't know that we'll mess with it too much. And depending on what happens over this side, we may eventually even be able to lift that tree up a little bit further in the soil once we get some good roots established out this side. They're a bit light on at the moment. I think that's where I chopped the main part of the roots off down low. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do too much. I'll just see how it fits in the new pot. I'll grab the new pot. Got tie-in wires in here already. The screens are in the bottom. It's another little bad swan pot. I don't really know what made me think this pot would suit this tree. The size was right, the colours are pretty good. I don't know, and I just like that angular look on the texture. It's pretty good. What are we looking at? The front sort of there. Yeah, it'll fit in, no worries. We'll go around and trim a little bit off the roots, not a lot, but that'll be the eventual position in the pot thereabouts. We can move it around a little bit once we trim some of those roots back. I'll just grab my shitty branch cutters rather than using my good ones for roots. And we'll just trim things back a bit. Just to make it a little bit easier to fit him in the pot. Going to take back a couple of bigger ones that are down deeper in the soil. They can be replaced with small fine feeder roots, which is ultimately what we want lots of. Try and keep as many of these sort of radial roots that are going to be up near the surface of the soil as we can, and we'll just let them, they'll get thicker and thicker over time, and that's what will give us those nice surface roots that we like. But that's going to take time. It's just time growing the thing. That's probably not too bad like that, I reckon. You know, there's probably two ways we can do the pot because it's higher on one side than the other, I think. The last time I potted it up, I wasn't really worried about orientation too much because I was just getting it into its first bonsai pot, so it wasn't critical, and it was a round pot. So you could just move the pot to adjust the front. Now we've got to get it fairly close if we want it to look good. There's a few little things. If you wanted that full-on side view to make the most of the movement in this trunk, I don't know if you can notice it on camera, but that almost is reverse taper. It goes back in a little bit. But if we turn it a little bit, somewhere there I think, the taper on the trunk actually looks better. It doesn't duck in as much, but then you lose some of that movement in the trunk. So I don't know. I think the taper in that base is not great on this side, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. I think I'll put it back where it was to make the most of the movement in the trunk, and we'll work on it from there. That probably needs a bit more. It's quite a deep pot, this one, So it will still have a considerable volume to grow in, which is good. So we may even at some point in the future be able to shrink that down a bit more. I put it in a shallower pot, but for now the depth of that pot probably works really well. Probably somewhere around there, I reckon. Will look okay. Could even go up a little bit in the pot. Oh, just a tiny bit. I don't know that it really wants to go up much more. Throw all the moss away, didn't fucking want it anyway. It's a mess, whatever. Rightio. So that is the strawberry guava in its new home. Generally, I'm happy with how it's going. I am waiting for a shoot to come out from here. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it. So on my next video, I'm going to get the drill out. And I'm going to drill a hole through there. I'm going to thread this through. I'm going to try a thread graft. To assist with that, I am just going to trim this back branch back, just so that all its growth is going out on the tip. Make that as long as I can before the next video. Probably that one there's. Oh, which one's facing the right direction doesn't really matter. Probably that one. And it can just keep growing out that way. I'm not pruning anything else on it. Yeah, overall, this side of the root base needs work. We really need some better roots out this side, but there are a few here and there under the ground. And if we can continue to grow them and thicken them up, maybe over time we'll get something here, but it does look a bit strange just on that side, but yeah, what do you do? The rest of the tree is not too bad. Working on wiring this one back out so it's not growing straight up. That could probably nearly come off very soon, or maybe even now. Yeah, we'll take it off now. So we'll clean that up a bit on the next one. Got a few little jobs to do on the next video, but for now I'm just going to let that recover. I'm not going to give it a new fertilizer bag. I'm going to throw the old one back on. I have got some different fertilizer containers coming that might look a little better. I don't like the way these tea bags look. They work really well, don't get me wrong, but they do make all the moss underneath the bag black. And they're difficult to position them, especially when you start getting into smaller pot sizes. They're a little bit difficult. So I've got something else coming, and we'll have a look at that when they turn up. I don't even know if they're going to be a good solution, but yeah, we'll see how we go. But that's it for the strawberry guava today in its new pot. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.